At that time, Stephen?
Yep.
All right. I will call this meeting of the Whiteland Town Council to order. If we could stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We could do a roll call, please.
Tim Brown,
Here.
Brad Godecker,
Here.
Joe Saylor.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum.
All right, invocation.
Father God, we come before you this evening to conduct the business of the town. Please be with our leaders as they make important decisions that will impact the town of Whiteland. I ask for you to be with those who are in the midst of difficult times. Please give them the guidance, wisdom, and needed healing. I pray all of this in your name.
Amen. All right, agenda. We have a tentative agenda. Does anyone have any modifications, additions, subtractions they want to propose?
I have a request for removal.
Yeah.
Under new business, the third bullet, request for encroachment on drainage and utility easement, that can be removed.
Okay. No one is here presenting on that, I assume, correct? All right. We will strike that, from the, agenda unless anyone else feels otherwise.
Nope.
All right. Minutes, 9/9/25 and 9/30/25.
Here, I have another one. Nope.
Well, I just now realize I don't think I have them in my packet. So, you guys have them?
I didn't see 9:30, 25 minutes, but I could have overlooked them.
Me an extra agenda, like the one that I printed off.
Let's make sure it's not. It's not. All right, let's push that to the end of the meeting. We can, let's come back to minutes.
Okay.
Because I don't think I have them.
That was the special meeting. We can announce that.
Listen, I don't have that.
So I think 9/9 was our regular meeting, and then 9/30 was the special.
I think
Okay.
the regular meeting prepared.
Voucher packet 10/14/25, stick with that.
I have moved to approve. I don't have any questions.
I don't have none either. I'll second it.
All right, there's a motion and a second. We'll just do this by acclamation. All those in favor of approval, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, hearing none, approval passes.
There was an additional voucher packet placed at your guys' desk. You guys see that for the general fund. It was a payment that we found on the Tahoes for the police department. It's a one-time a year payment. It was something that we did not realize needed paid until the last minute after the voucher packet had already been ran. So that is placed additionally at your guys' desk. It's additional.
This one right here.
So I have, looks like APB number 40424, which is for the police Tahoe payment. Is there a motion to approve that, voucher?
Yep, a motion approved.
There's second.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. All right, financial reports. Or, however we want to do this. I know that there's a bit of a transitionary period here, so if they're not formalized and so, I'm not concerned about it.
Should be at your seats. We can definitely read off balances if you would like, but there should have been financials that is a review of the general fund, water and sewer operating, and is there anything else that you like? There was nothing out of the ordinary.
That was all I was gonna ask, is from my point of view, as long as they are within the normal margins and there's nothing out of the ordinary, I don't feel the need to go further at this time. Unless anybody else feels differently. All right, old business, we have the budget ordinance 2025-12, final reading. And we do not have a public hearing on that, correct, Stephen?
So it's already taken care of.
We'll pass that over to Stephen, please.
Yes, sir.
All right, any questions, comments, motions regarding 2025-12? It was consistent with what we previously had approved and what we previously had a public hearing on. So I don't have anything. I would ask for motions or motions in debate as anyone would like.
I have no questions on that. I'll make a motion to approve it.
There a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Let's do this by roll call, please.
Tim Brown,
Yes.
Brad Bodecker,
Yes.
Joe Stewart.
Yes.
Pass 3-2.
All right. Next, new business, Project Yellow Jacket, which I think, Carmen sent, I guess, proposal of some, I can't remember what I want to call it, but
Yes, it was a proposal, both from Project Yellow Jacket and their folks, as well as the town's assessment of the abatement request. It was emailed out today. So I will not steal anybody's thunder, but we just quickly want to say that we have representatives here from the company that is interested in the Whiteland area. Specifically, they're looking at Gateway Building 1. Which is vacant as of right now. So I have Michael Harrison from a company called Sugar Foods and Jessica DeBoer, who is the site selector representing Sugar Foods as well. We have, when I say we, this has been a quick process as far as in Sugar Foods, and they can go through this as well. But last week met with this Fire Johnson County, who typically handles these type of requests when they come down from the state, as well as brought Adam Stone in to analyze and provide us with some guidance for the town to present to you all. So I have folks here from Aspire as well as Adam to further discuss or answer any questions that you all may have. And I'll turn it over to Jessica and or Michael. We have them do a quick presentation.
Thank you all for having us. Appreciate it. Do we need to?
The presentation,
Awesome.
yes, you've got it. There you go.
Well, thank you very much for having us, guys. Really appreciate the time. Really today, just want to go through who we are, Sugar Foods, who we are, what we're looking to do in Whiteland, and then kind of where we are in our process, the next steps. So Sugar Foods probably makes you think we're doing sugar. Ironically, we do very little sugar. We were founded about 75 years ago out of Brooklyn, New York, and we packaged bulk sugar. Hence, we got the name Sugar Foods. Over the years, we've morphed from bulk sugar, where we do a lot of salad toppings today, a lot of different toppings you put on, whether it's croutons, fried vegetables, fruits and nuts. We do sugar packets still today, along with crushed red pepper, Parmesan cheese. So a lot of different food items you'll see. If we can flip ahead to the next slide real quick. So I guess so just talking, yeah, so here are some of our brands. So who are we? Some of our brands that you may have seen at the grocery store. So roughly 50% of our business is in retail and 50% of our business is in food service, which includes the quick service restaurant industry. So the McDonald's, the Chick-fil-A's of the world.
Go ahead and get started.
We're doing portion control packaging for their salads, little sugar packets in there that may say McDonald's or In-N-Out, whatever may be on those packets. What you see on the screen here are our retail facing brands. So if you go into the produce section of the supermarket, you'll see we have Fresh Gourmet, which is our toppings brand. So you'll find that in your lettuces, so mainly croutons, crispy vegetables, tortilla strips, all those different types of items. And then you move through, we have other brands where we do lemon and lime juice, squeeze bottles, etc. So we do a mixture of processing and packaging. So we take products in bulk, so 2,000-pound sacks of crushed red pepper, and put them into 2.5 gram, 3 gram packets that can be consumed, right? Additionally, we do purchase about 150 million pounds of bread a year and convert that into croutons. And so we are the largest crouton manufacturer in the US. Probably all eaten a crouton from Sugar Foods at one point in time, whether it's out of the restaurant or at home in home consumption. We do private label as well as our branded. So we do a lot of different things as we go forward. So the project we're talking about in Whiteland would be our fifth US facility. Today we have 2 facilities in Georgia, 1 in California, 1 in Massachusetts in the US, and then we have a facility down in Mexico where we do a lot of our crispy, crunchy toppings. As we looked at our business and where we see the growth going, we know we need another beachhead in the US. So we undertook a network study about a year ago with a third-party consulting firm as to, based upon where our customers are located, where should we be? And where should we be is a bit of a loaded question because it's not just a distribution play for us, it's also a packaging and production play. So we find that we work best where we package and produce close to distribution. So our California facility, our Georgia facility, and our Boston facility, we all produce as well as distribute there. So it's not just a distribution operation. We are doing also manufacturing, light manufacturing. So as we think about where we are and what we're doing, there's one area where we kind of are a little bit at risk on, or we need growth on, I should say, we're out of capacity, is our crispy vegetables. And that's the product we produce down in Mazatlan, Mexico. So we take in onions from the field, we top tail and peel them, we run them through a slicer, dicer, flour them, oil them, fry them, season them, and then package them. And that's the process we'd be looking to start with our facility in Indiana with that process. Over time, we believe this to be the showcase piece for our company. So we would do not just our crispy onions, but we package everything else we're doing. Fruits and nuts, croutons, we're doing sugars, crushed red peppers, etc. Plus, we would look to do sauces and syrups as well. So we do sauce and syrups, so caramels, chocolates, baking mixes, all that type of stuff that we're doing in Boston as well. We look to bring here to Indiana, kind of have this beachhead where we're doing everything under one roof close to distribution. So if we flip ahead one more. So the property we're currently looking at is on Gateway Drive. This is a facility that was built in 2023. It's a 617,000 square foot facility. We'd be looking to lease the whole thing. In terms of the time horizon, we're looking at a 20-year lease to start with at a minimum of 2 5-year renewals. All of the facilities we're in today, we've been in for over 30 years. So we don't want to move facilities. We like to stay in the facility for a long time, be part of the community, really kind of draw from the community, give back to the community, participate in the community as well. So we're looking at a 20-year lease to start at Gateway Drive, 617,000 square foot facility, as I said, where we'd look to start with light industrial manufacturing of the frying of the vegetables, as well as packaging and distribution. So distribution would be a part of what we're looking to do. And if we go ahead, one more. So as I mentioned, we've been in our facilities for 20 plus years, our facilities, some are 30 plus years. And so one of the big things is we do want to give back to the community. So whether that's participating in 5K races, sending volunteers down to the soup kitchen to help make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches around Thanksgiving time, doing different things to give back, to be an active participant, right? Because we don't want to just be in the community, we want to be part of the community. And that's how we view our facilities as part of the community. So we do a lot of different things in our different areas, not just with our employees from an employee engagement perspective, but also with their families around as well. So big family day at our facility in Georgia where all families come, they get to tour where mom and dad work to understand what they do, right? They see the production lines, they see the packaging lines, they see the forklifts, right? Yes, there's bouncy castles and face painters and water balloon fights and all that fun stuff too, but they do get to see the facilities to understand where mom and dad are going each and every day. So we do a lot of different things like that with our employees, plus with the community as well. One more ahead. So the ask, I'll turn to Jessica for this part.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm within Census Group. I've been working with Michael, his team, and their real estate team to evaluate the property here in Whiteland for their project. If you could go back just 2 slides before we, is that possible?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. No, thank you. I did want to just highlight here before we talk about it, our ask, the proposed investment, so that are proposing to invest over $40 million in the facility. About 15 of that will be in tenant improvements to allow them to do food production in the facility. They'll have to make some tenant improvements, but the other 25 million of that is production and distribution equipment. So much of what will allow them to bring new jobs here is tied to that equipment investment, over 25 million, just for this first phase of investment that Michael's told you about. We do anticipate about 105 new jobs with that first investment. About 40 of that will be related to the distribution operation, 60 to the production operations, and then 5 of those will be CDL drivers that will help them in their distribution work as well. And these are high quality jobs, an average wage over all of those jobs of about 62,800, and that's excluding benefits. So on top of that, they have a full benefits package for full-time employees.
Yeah, so we offer full medical, full dental, 401k match as well. Obviously, paid family leave, all that stuff. So we do offer a robust benefits package.
We do have asked for you that we'd like to present in terms of a property tax abatement, but before that, are there any questions that we can answer about the project itself?
I don't think I have any at this point.
Ma'am.
Okay, thank you. You could skip ahead and then. So as I mentioned, we've been working with Michael and his team on evaluating the full financial aspects of this investment and what it means for the company in the long term, as you mentioned, the year lease. And one of the areas that we identified could be an opportunity to support their investment and make this property a good fit for them is a personal property tax abatement. So we are requesting from you this evening a 7-year abatement at the standard 7-year reducing percentage scale from 100 to 14%. And that would be on the personal property. So that $25 million investment that I talked to you about. We do recognize there is an existing real estate abatement on.
So this is in lieu of that, or are you wanting this on top of the generous real estate?
Yes, this would be additional requests. We understand that the fire department has had some impacts lately in terms of their budget. So the company would like to kind of do a payment in lieu of tax or a pilot payment to the fire department. They're proposing a $10,000 a year donation for the first 5 years of the abatement, and then 5 years in year $5,000 in year 6 and 7 of the abatement term to the fire district. Any other questions we can answer?
Please, I don't have anything.
So, I mean, you're saying, hey, we want to be integrated with the community and do some things. The slide right before this one, part of that is paying your taxes. They fund things like we're bonding out a roundabout. We bonded out a new fire engine. We had to tell the fire department no on a new ladder truck. Paying the taxes helps do that. So you're asking us to not solve that problem.
Sure. Well, we were aware of the fire department problems, which is, why we were proposing this annual donation. But we do think in the long run, this is a 7-year ask. They are proposing a 20-year lease and have plans to be in the community for much longer than the 7-year ask. But this helps them, make that initial leap, that $40 million investment upfront to move here into the community and to bring those jobs as well.
Brad, I will mention they are still paying taxes. It would just, there is a the abatement does allow for, a breakdown. So the first year they would get the 100%, and that's just on the 25 million. They still have that 15 million, and then whatever, I didn't pull up what that property is assessed at right now. So that is incrementally going down as well on the real property abatement, because that's in year 3 of the real property. So there's only 7 years left on the real property. And so that is going to not have the 49 or, the 100% going down. So they are paying taxes. In the packet that I provided you that has the town's portion, the 7-year abatement is granted Normal taxes before abatement would be 1.89 million. Their total taxes saved would be 148,000. This is again over 7 years. Their net tax payable, they will still be paying over $1 million in taxes over those 7 years as if an abatement is approved. So the company would be saving 850,000 in taxes abated. If you all would entertain that term.
The other thing about this is our initial investment. As I said, our plans are to invest a lot more. If you think about over the 20 years, the investment dollars are probably going to be closer to, an additional 40 million plus as we look to continue to grow and build into this facility. So the 25 million is our initial investment, but that's not where we're stopping, right? We're going to continue to add production lines, add packaging lines, add people, add everything else. That's our plan to continue to grow and really make kind of our beachhead.
And I just wanted to.
Beautiful facility, excellent location, excellent workforce. I mean, it's a great spot. I mean, so building, we already have property tax abatement put in there for them to benefit from. I mean, you can ask for anything.
Well, I guess I'm curious what Adam's analysis is as far as the financial projection on it.
Could back them up?
Please.
Thank you. And I had the pleasure to sit in the presentation and kind of review the materials. Couple things, the first thing that I would say is, once we got made aware of the specific site, just context for you all. So this is in the Patch Phase 1 allocation area. This facility is currently empty. It's newly constructed and just available for lease. So between the Council Redevelopment Commission, there's already been a lot of investments made into that area. What I would also say is that this, as I understand it, was a highly competitive process from what Aspire and the company and their site selectors represented. My understanding is I was made aware of 5 alternative locations, and of which this was, I believe, the top scoring location. The business personal property abatement is an ask. It's an ask of them. It would be above and beyond the real property tax abatement that you've already formally provided. My understanding is that there are sort of lease marketability benefits because of just the way those taxes would pass through and those type of things. The actual overall kind of net rent, or at least their duration, the real property benefit to some extent is making the property more attractive as well. Part of our diligence, we were inquiring about the lease term. My understanding is that it has not yet been signed, but they would be looking to sign a 20-year lease in the facility, which is beyond the requested duration. The couple other things I would put on there is that historically speaking, a business when I look at the $40 million investment, I personally sort of shrug off the tenant improvements. That is a squishy number from an assessment perspective. Like you will probably spend that and more, but the county assessment process, as you all know, is it's not dollar for dollar. So the business personal property, though, one of the things we did inquire about was it's not going to be really phased. It is not going to be all day one, but it's not certainly stretched out over 5 to 10 years like a lot of business personal property requests are. Same with the jobs. So I do personally like that a lot of the benefits are at least apparently front loaded in this one, whereas traditionally in like a 10-year, they'd have 10 years to hit those job attainment goals or those investment goals. So I think that's a positive. The fire contribution is unique and helpful, above and beyond the sort of abatement, and would be a direct contribution to fire. It doesn't go through the assessment collection process. So I think that's pretty efficient. So those are sort of my notes that I took down from the presentation. And, I think from an effective standpoint, when you look at the 7-year proposal, it works out to be about half of the taxes they would otherwise pay in a 10-year point in time. So I would, have to sort of defer to Aspire and the company on if they would go here without the abatement. That's not really for me to be able to answer. But from all things being equal, if they were in the building and made these investments without it, you would receive about twice as many dollars coming in. The tricky part is, would they pick this location? Will they come here without it? That sort of but-for test is on abatements is really the crux of it. Obviously, from the financial perspective, I would lobby for or ask for as short or and accelerated as possible, whether that be a 5-year or not. But at the same time, the difference between a 5 and a 7-year is about $150,000 in taxes saved between year 6 and 7. Discounted present value of that's about $100,000. So, from my side, I would just say, one, do you think it's a good fit for the community from an employer perspective? Is this someone you want to drive by and see job fairs for, and try to help see them at local events 15 years from now, 20 years from now, would be kind of the first factor. On the financial, I would also say it is not every day that we see someone who Aspire can probably back me up with data, but from my side, 40 million is notable when you're not counting real estate. I think that's a needle mover. I think 100 jobs early in cycle is notable. I think the wages, based on the more recent update, is needle mover and above average. So I think this is one where there's plenty pros and plenty things to be eyes wide open on. It is in an allocation area, specifically patch phase 1. So that means any taxes paid and generated will be able to be captured as part of patch phase 1's allocation area.
I'm not sure I can agree with that.
Okay,
The personal property is not captured right now.
Okay, so that was something Carmen and I talked about. So that was one of the questions I had. Can you clarify that then?
We would have to specifically go through a specific process to be able to capture that.
Okay.
And we have to basically adopt a special resolution for that.
Okay.
To capture it.
Got it. So that is
Carmen's looking at me, not sure about that.
Would be a major consideration on my side, obviously.
As far as the process.
Yeah.
For that to remain here in the TIF versus going off into the great ether of the state, what's the downside to us doing that process to capture?
In terms of downside for town and the redevelopment commission, it just is, additional process. I don't know that we have done that in the past here. And so I can't tell you off the top of my head what that process would be. It would be a relatively simple process, 1 or 2 meetings at the most, I would expect, to do that.
Is that something RDC has to do?
Yes. Yeah. And whether the council would have to also approve that, I can't say right now. I'd have to look into that and get back to you. But I'm pretty confident, and I can get back to you probably by the end of the meeting tonight and give you a little more information about what that process really is, if you were interested in that.
Thank you. So the ask tonight is to.
Well, look, maybe this might help a little bit in terms of where we go next. We don't have a resolution in front of us. In order to grant this abatement, we'd have to have a resolution that documents it. Typically, our process involves a written application being provided to the town, which gives us basically the information needed to prepare that resolution. And then an SB1, personal property would have to be provided as well, which puts your numbers in there and so forth. And then once we have that application, we would then prepare that resolution and have it on the agenda, presumably in this case at our November meeting. and go from there. Now, sometimes incentive letters or incentive offers that are informal, relatively speaking, but in writing and non-binding can be authorized to be made to give some level of comfort. Though again, it's non-binding, it's subject to completing all the legal, procedures and process. But that's, some of the alternatives in terms of
Okay.
next steps.
Thank you. Well, I guess my thought would be, we're obviously a little light on members tonight. And we don't have a resolution that we could act upon anyway. I'm speaking for myself and myself alone. There's a lot I like about this, and I'm inclined to support it. So I guess my thought would be that we ask that they formalize their application and that the entire council considers it at our November meeting, would be my thought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's nothing to vote on here tonight. I mean, I can tell you, so, I mean, they're asking us to set a new precedent. So then the next person that comes along will have an even greater ask. Okay, I mean, we offer things like, I think we're a great fit for them. This sounds like a fantastic business. We'd love to have them in town. Love what you described. But I mean, it's just like perpetually, the ask is bigger every time by each new person, unless we're like, this is what we offer. And so, I mean,
And that's kind
you know,
of,
to see it actually in writing and everything, but I mean, and the very next one will be, hey, let's go 8 years, let's go 10 years, let's go a higher percentage.
So this is a larger one than any of the other ones we've approved.
You've done 5-year.
Fives.
and I'm not one for jumping out of the norm. I kind of like to follow what we do in the past because it keeps everybody uniformed and stuff like this, but I'm willing to entertain any thought. But I'm with
So it looks like
of them, we need to get all council in it.
It looks like Adam said, the difference between the 5 and the 7 would be about $150,000. And we'd also, I wouldn't have well, how do I say this? The whole thing's kind of moot if we're not capturing it.
Yeah, may I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant by that pledge conversation, whether or not it would be captured, the business personal property assessment would be captured by the redevelopment commission as a major consideration, because your point is 100% correct. Essentially, if it's going to flow through and be passed through, then really the revenue gain loss to you all is orders of magnitude lower. So those dollar amounts would really be on their ledger, not yours.
Mhm.
So if the decision by the appropriate boards and commissions are made to pass through it or not capture it, then I would say I would sort of cross off a lot of the factors and just look at jobs, because really that's going to be the uses of the building, and the jobs is really going to be the most directly measurable by the town. The minute that would be captured, if that's part of the approval, then those dollar amounts are actually truly incremental to the town. Just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you. So I mean, whether we abate or not makes no difference to the town unless we're capturing it.
Sure.
Um,
Now, again, like, I mean, some of the 5-year personal property that we've done caused me a lot of indigestion prior. So like, I mean, the idea of going above that and surpassing, I don't have much of an appetite for that. So it's like, oh, hey, we're going to do, in 7 years, we're, making a decision over $40 million investment for maybe up to $150,000 in 7 years. I don't know that is like that big of a swing for them. If they want to be, come in and make a difference and be a good community player.
So, as far as the formalizing the application, Stephen,
Mm-hmm.
does the application have to be basically for a 5 or an application for a 7, or would it be potential for there to be two drafts of the resolution before the board next month, one at a 5, one at a 7.
Simple answer is yes. They can apply and ask for whatever schedule of abatement they want to. And if they want to propose alternatives, or if you want to, look at whatever they've asked for and say, we're not willing to do 7, but we're willing to do 5, and adjust the resolution at the meeting, you can do that too.
I guess my thought would be, put together the resolution based off of their application, and we can just consider it and the full board at the next meeting. And if we're willing to offer 5 but not 7, we can do that. If we're willing to offer nothing, I mean, it's really up to the board.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it and have them actually have something substantial in front of us to make a decision off of.
And will you have staff recommendation on that, Carmen, when they turn that in? You'll have something stating what staff recommends on it.
So I already provided you, we have our scoring criteria. I had, of which it scored where we that type of company, yes. We don't want a very large, I don't say we don't want, but as far as employee size and wages and things of that nature, it scored where we would want that. We wouldn't want to, start getting a whole bunch of couple thousand or 1,000 plus companies that we already have that are taxing on our infrastructure and things of that nature. The key thing and the one thing that was mentioned is, well, we've not done this before. Well, this is the first company that's also offered us a give back with the donation. So I want you to keep that in mind as well. So we've kind of already scored it on where we meaning the town and Adam, where we feel like this would fit within our scoring criteria. It's a guide. It's green, it's a go, nothing like that. It's a decision.
Thank you.
I would add, I've done a quick look. This is just a preliminary opinion concerning the capture of the personal property taxes by the redevelopment commission and the process that would be required. And it looks like an amendment to the plan would be required, which is a 5-step process. Starts with the redevelopment commission adopting resolution, then goes to the plan commission, then to the council, then back to the redevelopment commission for a public hearing, and then final action.
Okay. I know I'm asking you a question you can't actually answer. Do you see any direct impediments to that process being? Is there any logistical or procedural impediments to that process flowing through in this case?
Well, it's just a matter of timing. I don't know how quickly either the council, company needs to have that finalized. The company, they may not care if they grant the abatement.
Yeah.
Though your abatement approval might be or contingent upon, depending on how you wanted to handle it, completing that process.
I guess it kind of is I guess there's kind of a waterfall effect to me. On its face, if we grant the abatement and the status quo remains how it is, there's no downside to the town. Because it's money we weren't gonna get anyway. And so the company looks really good to me. And so if it's just a question of, does this company come here and there's no fiscal impact to the town? I'd say yes. Then the next question is, are we able to capture? We're able to capture. Are we able to do that process effectively? And then the third part of the waterfall is then at that point, if we are capturing, does the 150K swing between the 5 and the 7, or more than that, if let's say we're at 3, is that enough to outweigh the other side? To me, I like a lot about this. So I guess my thought would be to ask them to file a formal application in here next month. But if just one person.
I agree. I think they need to file for it and then we'll have everybody look at it. It'll be in the packet early enough that Richard and Debbie can do their research on it and then we can make a decision then.
How do we start the ball with asking the RDC to consider capturing?
Well, and as I think about some of the legal requirements, statutory requirements, findings in particular, one of the findings that I suspect would either absolutely apply or at least conceptually apply is that, but for the inclusion or capturing of this new, property tax, the company wouldn't come. That would be something I would expect to have to find. And so in effect, it would all have to be contingent in a sense. The abatement, I guess, it would be contingent upon completing the redevelopment commission, process to capture that, which does run the risk of prolonging that time period for a final decision. Again, I don't know what the timing.
What are you guys looking at as far as timelines?
So we're looking to move into the facility by the end of the year, the latest. We like to get started this year with our distribution. We would look to start our fry line operation next year, mid next year, commission line with first production fourth quarter. So to Tom's point about the immediacy of the jobs, it's going to be pretty quick. Is how we're looking to move here.
So when you say distributing by the end of the year, the end of 25?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The other thing I wanted to mention is that when it comes to establishing a TIF district and kind of communicating expectations to the other underlying taxing units, we probably in this case, our TIF district has been in existence for 5, 7. Let's see, when did we start it?
The TIF?
Quite honestly, it's probably maybe
It's about
on 10. It's been a while,
like that.
but when we first started it, I'm relatively confident that we shared with everyone that one of the things that would be a benefit to the underlying taxing units is that it doesn't provide for capturing any personal property and that those would continue to flow through to the taxing units. And obviously, if we designate, and that's the official term, the company as a designated taxpayer from which we are going to capture the personal property, that's contrary to the normal expectation that personal property would flow through. That said, if they won't come without the abatement, the taxing unit isn't losing anything.
Yeah.
That they were going to get anyway, or we're not going to get without the abatement anyway. So just some other things to keep in mind.
Okay.
So historically, we have been, and our stances, we are very easy to do business with. That's the way, like, we want to do it. We want to see mutually beneficial arrangements and agreements. But like, you didn't bring us anything today that we can vote on or do anything. So unfortunately, like, we can't do anything on that front. I'm certainly interested in seeing some things on paper. You've asked us to go above and beyond anything we've ever done. I think this would be a fantastic fit. I like your business, everything that you proposed. Perhaps you would want to consider, not asking for more than anybody in history in front of us. That may be a good idea. I don't know. That's just my thought. But I mean, there's a significant interest. Like, we want to be very easy to work with and be helpful.
All right, so if you guys will put.
Say something.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
that is my fault on not having an application in front of them. Just due to, we just met with them Thursday and this was a quick thing and it was in my head, it was an incentive letter would be enough and then a vote tonight, knowing that we only had 3 of the 5 members. And so that's where we worked with Adam and Aspire to try to pull together as much data as possible to get that in front of you all, for that discussion and that. And so as far as not having an application, I did not provide that to them to complete. And so that was, you know, in my head again, thinking the letter would be satisfactory to be able to provide them as they, you know, kind of pursue their decisions. So, you know, but like I said, we just met with them on Thursday of last week. And so this was a very fast kind of turnaround.
May
Yeah.
to the question about, you know, are incentives necessary? I think I mentioned that we've been helping Michael and his team to project what the financial impact of each location looks like over the long term, and the other locations have offered incentives to the project, and we did include you know, some assumptions on an abatement for this property. So it is part of their, you know, it was part of the financial decision in terms of ranking the sites that there would be offered.
Something I might want to make sure that everyone's aware of. I took a look at the real estate tax abatement, and it's a straight 45% per year for 10 years. It's not the declining. And I wanted to make sure that in your calculations, your financial numbers, you weren't assuming a standard declining abatement, since it's going to be, you know, 45% for the remainder of the life of that.
Yeah,
10-year
I
abatement.
believe that is in our model, but I'll verify. Thank you.
Well, you're leasing as well, right?
Yeah, but
Is that-
triple net,
Triple that 20-year lease.
Okay.
so the taxes.
For
Yep.
2 5-year.
Okay. Well, I think for tonight, with especially as short as we are, as my invitation would be to get the application in front of Carmen, and I'm excited about it. And we'll give it due consideration at the next meeting.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very much.
So I know you kind of wrap things up there, but as I was doing in my mind, the time schedule, if the redevelopment commission were to proceed with trying to amend its resolution, they could start that process in November. But as I said, the next step would be the plan commission. They wouldn't meet again without a special meeting until December.
Mhm.
And it could then get to the council in December,
Mhm.
but wouldn't be able to go back to the redevelopment commission for a hearing until January. So
I guess my question is this. So if we can't capture, or we don't capture, the abatement doesn't have any fiscal impact to the town. Then it's just a question of, do we want this company here, right? Functionally,
right,
Well, there's no question.
except that there is
They're great. I mean,
circuit breaker in
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand.
so there's no question that we would, we think that's a great fit. They do fantastic, but
So I guess my question is, can we? If we approve the abatement next month, does that impact the RDC's ability to make its necessary findings?
That depends on whether it's conditioned, if
It would have to be conditional.
their coming is conditioned.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I was just gonna add one more thing. It's a classic overthinker. They just in the spirit of completeness, you know, what is nuanced about this is you have layered economic development on this parcel, right? It's in a TIF allocation area. It has received a real property tax abatement today. That based on the structure of the lease, they should be in theory receiving, at least for the abatement duration, a lower tax pass through than otherwise, right? Which would make that property more attractive than one that didn't have an abatement. Okay. And now with the sort of tenant build out and equipment that they would be bringing to utilize that space, they're requesting an abatement on that. What I would just offer to council as you're just kind of thinking through this and trying to weigh the options. One would be, what we don't want to do is make decisions that would be contradictory to the health of the broader project or area, right? So what I would point to is then like, if would every requesting user tenant in that business come before you, right? Is that going to be, to your point, to what is that going to look like? And then also say no to this where, the, assuming they would not choose this location, then there's not going to be a tenant, obviously, for that. At least this petitioner would not be a tenant for that building. So I would just add that as sort of additional sort of nuances in this, and that, which is a little unique in that this specific property is sort of layered in its economic development sort of activity that has taken place already to the site. And the being that it is in an allocation area, it is already receiving a real property tax abatement. And now there's at least one request for abatement on the personal property. So I hope that helps.
Thank you. Anything else, council, on this matter, or move on?
I mean, I love the project. I think, fantastic, and exactly what we want to see. However, I mean, we have to decide what is appropriate. So, I mean, I would ask for more than what's accustomed every single time. And then you can, okay, well, I'll still settle for this, but we can always go here. I mean, the next time it'll be 8 years or 10 years, higher percentage. And so like then in their report, it was like, oh, hey, we'll request this, and then we'll do this kind of payback on the fire department. Okay, well, I mean, so then you start playing with the numbers. I mean, like, why go above what we've done as a maximum before, which I felt like was a stretch the last time. And so now we're continuing to move forward. I mean, obviously we'll hopefully in November, have the entire council here to get opinions and perspective to represent. But I mean, yeah, like, it's a fantastic project. They do great here. But I mean, at what point do we say that's, like, this is what we're able to do?
And question, I had a question for Adam. Those pilots are about 60,000. Is that factored into your analysis of how much the swing is between a 5 and a 7?
It is.
Okay.
And where my head was just going is spirit of just kind of speaking out loud would be maybe kind of following up with them on maybe a 5 with that, and even shorter without it. There's a lot of flexibility, obviously within that. But yes, sir, to answer your question, it was included.
Okay.
And it is 60,000 over the 7 years.
Brad, to your point, one of the things that when I saw this come in today in my email, I thought about last year's abatement that we gave to DNH, and it was a 5-year. And I was thinking, well, what is the difference? I mean, is it fair to give this petitioner or this company something more than what we gave someone else? And what I saw was that their investment seems to be significantly higher, at least 50% higher. And so that could be the basis for, determining that, maybe it's worth 7 years instead of 5. And it's not necessarily unfair if they're bringing more to the table. So just something to think about.
Sure, absolutely. Appreciate the perspective. Got nothing else.
All righty, we will move on to Brightspeed.
So the Brightspeed folks had come to us, I believe it was
Thank you.
April. And at that point, we had made a decision to make an amendment to our right-of-way ordinance. We are still working with legal counsel to go back and forth before we present the revised ordinance. Brightspeed would like to go ahead and get started with their project. They have put together, along with working with our legal counsel, a memorandum of understanding so that they could go ahead and move forward with their project. And what I wanted to do, I've included the MOU, as well as a comparison to what we're planning to propose with our right-of-way ordinance amendment versus what Brightspeed is willing to do just so they can get their project started. The biggest thing that we discussed back in April was we need to make sure we're protecting our infrastructure that's in the ground. And so getting the sanitary sewer system cameraed before and after their project when it comes to the boring, just to make sure that they don't bore through our infrastructure. So that is proposed in our ordinance amendment as well as Brightspeed in the MOU. In addition, and just so you can see that the two numbers, Billy put together the comparison to show that the Brightspeed MOU is actually above and beyond what we are planning in our right-of-way ordinance amendment. As far as the bonding would be $100,000 that would be replenishable. If say we had to make a repair, we had to pull the bond, they would replenish it, and it would be maintained for 2 years post-construction, because even though we're requiring them to camera the sanitary lines, that doesn't mean that they might not hit something else. And we may not find it right away. In addition, we would require them to put in a certificate of insurance of $3.5 million. And as you can see on the ordinance amendment, the requirement would only be $1 million. So the request from Brightspeed is that we can execute the Brightspeed in Town of Whiteland Memorandum of Understanding so that they can proceed with their project. And there may be representatives on the Zoom from Brightspeed to answer any questions that you all may have. My request is that that I can sign this if you all feel good for us to proceed with this. Again, it's above and beyond what we plan to prepare in our amendment to our right-of-way ordinance.
Did you guys have questions for the Brightspeed rep? Did they have anything that they wanted specifically to say?
If there's anybody from Brightspeed on the call, if you want to raise your hand so we can unmute you. Maybe not. Maybe there's not anybody on there. So,
So are they gonna, did you ask for the camera to be turned over, the videos all be turned over to the town?
yes.
Yeah, I think it's in
Yeah,
there.
I thought it was, and I just want to make sure that just in case.
yeah, not just, nope, there's no cuts.
I thought we did, and I just want to make sure. I've seen similar things happen out there.
I think there is somebody from Brightspeed on there.
So is it something that you will, that the sewer department will look at? That the sewer department will go through all of it, and then they'll make notes. If there's anything active that he's gonna be aware of, and that'll be turned over to them plus you guys, right? Okay. Thank you.
Kevin?
Hi, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thanks for having me today. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't find the raising the hand gesture, so my apologies there for getting off mute. Yeah, thank you for presenting that. Yeah, as it was said, we're excited to get building here. Hopefully you're satisfied with, what's in the MOU and that we've gone above and beyond what you would normally ask for. Really, our goal here is to start construction on the underground piece, as soon as possible. We've already started on the aerial side, working with Bargersville, Billy and Carmen as well. So this is really the last piece to get the underground portion going. Yeah, and if you have any questions about that project or what's in the MOU, I'm happy to help answer them.
The MOU answered the concerns that I had. I think we had done a fair bit of digging into whether a certificate of insurance or a bond was more appropriate, and it was, I universally agreed that certificate of insurance was both more effective and appropriate. So the $3 million certificate of insurance and the camera work, I don't have a problem with it.
No, me neither.
Neither do I.
Okay. Is there a motion to allow Carmen to sign that memorandum of understanding with Brightspeed? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, vote by roll call, please.
Tim Brown?
Yes.
Yes.
Jeff Saylor?
Yes.
3-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. All right, our next issue is discussion on petition for an increase of the maximum levy for the town.
So for this one, this is strictly, we've done this the last 3 years. It's our last year that we can do this to petition to the state due to our growth. And if you recall, the town's growth is 38% over last year in our assessed value. So this is only an opportunity just to put a little bit more in our coffers. As Adam has kind of indicated, it's going to be a lot more difficult for us to do this, but we would like to request the approval to submit the application for the town with a potential appeal amount of $148,348. So
I'm correct that they're assuming we were growing at 4% and we were more like 20 this last go around.
the state says we can only grow at 4%. We grew at 38%.
38, okay.
Yes, our fire district is at 40.
Okay.
So well over the 4.
Uh, I-
So the question I have is, it's kind of a stupid question. I mean, if you don't file for this maximum levy appeal and then you do it again, are you able to do it next year then, or just?
This is the last year, the state with SEA 1 that was passed at the Senate or at the General Assembly. They basically have taken this opportunity away from municipalities to apply for these. So we can either stop growing, so we'll need to tell everybody we're closed and we're going to stop growing, or we've got to find other ways to generate the revenue that because the state has taken this opportunity away from us. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't come back through future General Assemblies. And that's kind of where, do we even, it's going to be very difficult for us to petition this, even though we're at a 38% increase in assessed value. But what if we don't? So that's what Adam and I have kind of spoken is if we don't put our names in the hat to try to petition for this, and let's just say hypothetically it does come back and then they do pay attention to a lot of what each of the municipalities are doing that do apply, and we don't take the opportunity to apply, would that hurt us in the future if for whatever reason they do bring the opportunity back for us? Most likely we'll also hit circuit breaker, so we won't necessarily bring in the $148,000 we did. We hit circuit breaker last year and we had almost, I think it was 60-some thousand was our petition last year. So it doesn't hurt us to apply. It just takes a little time, energy, and effort to put the application together.
No, I don't see
I don't see any reason not to either.
Here's not to do you, Tim.
No, sir.
So I just request that we get your approval to submit the petition to appeal for the increase above the maximum levy to the town of White.
Is there any reason to not address those same fire at the same time since the fire is growing even faster?
No.
And both, I didn't.
All right. Is there a motion in regards to approving the petition to increase the maximum levy for both the town and the fire district?
So move for me.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second? There's a second. All right, vote by roll call, please.
Tim Brown,
Yes.
Brad Godecker,
Yes.
Joe Saylor.
Yes.
That's 3-0.
I do have a related question before we move on. My vague recollection is that part of the application process includes needing signatures on a resolution. I think our deadline
The 20.
prior to our next council meeting.
Yep, so there should be a petition, otherwise we can circulate it this evening. Doesn't require a public hearing, it's not an ordinance or resolution, it's just a page petition of the council that we would kindly request be signed this evening. The deadline for the application, which includes this petition, is due next Tuesday. So October 21st is the deadline. The petition would need to be included in the packet. And then just for two other points, in case you have constituents ask about it. One of the things that gets kind of conflated in this with the application is that this is not the Townsend, has financial reserves, is healthy and those types of things. This is really, these types of appeals are really to try to maintain level of service in periods of growth. So in round terms, you grew 10 times faster than the state's sort of levy controls allow you to grow. And this is a mechanism that allows you to do that. But also say even with this, your tax rate is still.
Thank you, Adam.
I want to make sure I'm looking through application form.
The second to last page.
Okay,
And that was in their packets, was the signature page that discusses the appeal. So the request is for you all to sign that tonight, so we can submit the application.
okay. I just wanted to verify that it wasn't couched in terms of a resolution. So I would just suggest that follow-up motion to expressly authorize here, is it,
It would need one for each.
wording, the petition talks about being resolved, if the council resolves. And it does say adopted, so, and it does have signature lines for council president effectively. So I would suggest that the motion, if you want to proceed, made to approve both petitions and authorize the staff and your advisors to file those petitions, finalize and file those petitions.
Does someone have such a motion?
Yeah, I mean,
So will be fine.
I didn't wanna, I don't, that amount.
That's a mouthful.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Let's do a call.
Tim Brown?
Yes.
Greg Godecker? And Joyce Hill.
Yes.
All right, passed 3-0.
All righty.
Thank you.
Supplemental statement of work with Stone Municipal Group.
Yes, so as you're aware, we have been working with Stone Municipal to help us with a whole bunch of things to include reconciliation, getting our books straight, as well as there was training that was attempted with our clerk treasurer. And as you all know, that we do not have a clerk treasurer right now. And so we really have still continued to lean on Stone Municipal Group to help us make sure that we are getting reconciled. We were getting so close to being there, and we're still yet so far away. We're closer than we have been in the past, but we're still not there. So I've asked Adam if in the interim, until we get a new clerk treasurer and bring that individual up to speed, you know, I think that him and his team have already done a lot for the amount that we pay them. It is a significant amount, but I feel like there's additional compensation that should be offered to them. So I'd asked him to put this proposal back in front of me, to put it in front of you. This is something we put together in June when we had an absence as well. This would not only help us with that reconciliation, but outside independent review of our monthly financial reports, as well as starting to help us once we identify a new clerk treasurer, once the Republican Party identifies a new clerk treasurer, and get that person trained the proper way. In the sense of, this is a CPA, this is somebody that has a finance background, not necessarily somebody that's been in this role before, on unelected. So I ask that we consider the supplemental statement of work, and that I can sign this, so we can not only continue to work with Adam and his team, but to get some additional help in our interim period. And this could be a month-to-month basis.
I've seen Adam's work here and in other municipalities, and I've never been anything but highly, highly impressed. And I do think that us having reconciled books and knowing where all of our money is, it's been something that's bothered me for a very long time. The uncertainty that would come up in our financial reports, so I very strongly support taking advantage of Adam's expertise, particularly during this time when we do not have a formal clerk treasurer. I think it does two things for us. It gets us a very professional, hands-on handling of finances between now and whenever we have our new clerk treasurer. And it also gives them opportunity to get things much closer to a reconciled running start for whoever the new clerk treasurer is. So I very much support this.
Do we have an idea of when we think these books might get reconciled and straight? I mean, is it?
Next month, you're gonna see quite a few, we've already started, Michaela and I have started going through to try to fix some of the requests that have been made since the beginning of the year to have fixed. So Michaela and I have started, working through each of those appropriations, each of those funds to try to fix what we can fix. But there will be quite a few coming to you all, because we can fix things between a category within a fund, but transferring between categories and funds, that requires additional approval. So I've had a laundry list that's been in front of the clerk treasurer since the beginning of this year that have not been resolved. So that's where, I'm tired of banging my head up against the wall, as I know most of you are as well. And that's the unfortunate thing of, not having somebody qualified to do the job, but it's an elected position, so.
I understand that, but we've been fighting this for a while and
It's been,
I'm wore out with it. I mean, we've got to get this straight. I mean, and I'm with you on that. I mean, we need to get it straight, and if it does cost, it does cost, but I'd rather have it straight and done and correct. That way we don't get in trouble, because unfortunately our name's on most of this stuff, and I don't want to get accused of doing something I'm not supposed to. And being new to the council and everything, I want to make sure that going forward, everything's where we need it to be. That way it just makes so much easier on all of us up here and out there, you guys. I mean, I know you guys have been dealing with this, and I do appreciate you guys stepping up. I mean, it's rough, and I understand. So like I said, I have no problem with Adams Stone taking care of it.
Yeah. Is there any timeline on how long, like, we think this additional thing is gonna last? And like, can we,
not to.
make it a point to have it
Yes.
come up every meeting? Hey, cause like, I mean, there's like cancellation and all that. So it's like, oh, hey, do we want to go ahead and put our cancellation in now or at some point in time? So like, we're not just paying when we kind of don't need to anymore.
I think that would be appropriate. And I think the other thing that this allows is a protection of Michaela, because she can't be moving money and paying the bills all in one, fell swoop. And so that offers an additional protection for the one individual that is handling the finances.
That stepped up to do
And
it.
so that is something that I think is absolutely needed, just to have a second, it's when we do the cash drawer, there's always two signatures, but on some of these other things where you're having to move money and things of that nature, if there's only one person in the accounts, it would just be a added protection for her, just to make sure that those things are being handled appropriately. So I think that, it offers kind of dual things, like we just have to get these books straight. And, and I've spent a lot of time in that office just trying to, fix the wrongs, and the wrongs kept getting made. And so it just snowballed into a lot bigger issues. And like I said, we were almost there, and then, we're not. So yes, if I could get a motion to, and I agree with Brad, maybe we keep this on the agenda and every month we discuss it.
Do you want to do every month or do you want to do quarterly? I'm fine either way.
I mean, I monthly, I mean, this can be a matter of like, hey, we're making progress, we're good. I mean, it could be
Because it could save us money.
10-second bullet point or something, so.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I will move to accept what were we here? Supplemental statement of work between the town of Whiteland and Stone Municipal.
And authorize town manager to sign.
Correct, yes, thank you.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, vote by roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Brad Goodacre,
Yes.
and Joe Saylor.
Yes.
All right, pass 3-0.
Next matter is Professional services agreement with Crossroad Engineers for, I'm guessing that's Community Crossings 2026 project.
So there's a couple of things in here. In addition to the community crossings, we have traditionally done our application and the inspections and everything regarding community crossings on our own. Just recently, in the last 2 years, we've contracted with a consultant to help us do the design and provide plans, but they're not stamped plans by a professional engineer. We've been working with Crossroads on our roundabouts and some other road discussions. And I had talked with Trent and brought up a couple of things. Not only that we need to make sure we're doing our projects and designing our projects appropriately, but that they're stamped plans, that we have people out there looking at it that know what they're looking at, know how to make field corrections, course corrections as quickly as possible, as well as just handling the inspections for us. Our folks are pulled in so many different directions. We only have, we have a building commissioner, we have a whole couple other people that kind of pinch hit when we have building inspections. We're just pulled in too many different directions to really do a lot of this on our own. The other thing that this proposal would provide us is every year we have to do a PACER rating. We have to rate our roads. I will tell you that I've done it from time to time. Our stormwater coordinator has done it. We've just kind of randomly had folks going out and rating our roads. Now, starting in 2027, you have to have somebody certified to do this. I've gone to the training. I could get the certificate. It's not that hard. But am I the road guy? Am I the road girl? Am I the one that's out inspecting these projects? I'm not. I mean, I can tell you what longitudinal cracking is and a percentage of the road from road segments. But we have a lot of people that are wearing a lot of hats, and this would help to alleviate this. The one thing in here it's called the asset management plan. That would be for Crossroad to give us a baseline of where all of our roads are at. It's $12,500 for them to come out and they would do the road assessment. Like I said, it's something we have to submit to LTAP every year, which is the local technical assistance program. So we have to submit this every year. Starting again in 2027, you have to have somebody certified. And, do I have time to take the training? No, I went to the course back in June, I think it was, just because nobody else here had time to go to it. Not like I had time to go to it, but I'd been the one primarily doing the community crossings projects. So it would be for them to kind of give us that baseline from an engineer's perspective of how good are our roads. That's what helps us as we apply for what projects are next and to prioritize those projects. This does also include the project we're putting in for next year. Community crossings will only have one call for projects. The call for projects is open now through the end of October. We have been working with Crossroads to the projects that we're looking at is Warrior Trail, which is between the 2 truck stops out there that is deteriorating because of all the trucks that travel on it, is to make that all full concrete, full depth reconstruction of that road, as well as Front Street from Main Street, or more so out towards the industrial or, the raceway and where J.M. Allen is. And if you drive up on that road, you'll see when the semis pull out of J.M. Allen, they have pushed the road and it's snapping off, and it'll only continue to deteriorate because it's not made for that type of truck traffic. So the project itself, it does look like, or the professional services agreement from Crossroads, it is a lot of money, but we've got to start doing things the right way and not piecemealing it together by who has time to go out and look at the road and, and knowing what we're looking at. So the plan would be to pay for the asset management, which would include that PACER rating from our general fund. In the planning department, I have engineering money in there. And then the rest of it would be from our local road and street. So the request would be for us to engage with Crossroad and to be able to sign the professional services agreement for them to not only help us prepare our annual assessment, of our roads, but also they would submit the application, they would do the bidding of the application, which some of these I could probably pinch hit. So maybe if the approval is, Carmen can pick which ones she actually needs them to do. So submitting the application is not difficult. Just making sure you have your I's crossed and your I's dotted and T's crossed. But I need that asset management plan done before I can do that. So.
Well, the asset management plan is a requirement for us to receive a lot of grants.
Correct. And they're becoming more where they have to be actually done by an engineer, not folks here.
But going back to when, it was probably about 4 years ago, when our community crossing project went south in every possible way.
Yeah.
I think that it sounds like we're gonna be forced to do this by the state next year anyway. And I know that Carmen is certainly has enough on her plate. I would be very comfortable with subbing this to an engineer. And I would probably my thought would be that it would be kind of like a not to exceed. If Carmen needs them to do something within this, they have them do it. If she says no, does it herself, that's up to Carmen would be my thought. I don't know how you guys feel.
I've got a different take on a lot of this because I've worked with Crossroads on several projects in my area. They do have their inspectors there. But in our area, it's final decisions, the inspector of the town. Okay. When I deal with Crossroads on this, if there's a problem, they call me, I come out, we look at it, we make a decision right there. The big thing is I understand, but I know the inspection fees can get up there in price. Very, very high. And that's one of the things, because I see that it's got several inspectors. While we got project managers, directors, senior projects, all this going on. I mean, that is technically what we pay our inspectors for here. To do that, to do the road proof rows and stuff like that. Are we going to rely on Crossroads to do it all and not have our inspectors there at all? Because we don't want to double dip either. We don't want to pay for our guys to do it plus Crossroads to do it. So that would be a concern of mine, is not having our inspectors out there. If Crossroads is going to handle it, then they're going to handle it 100%. Our guys are not going to be out there dealing with it. And that's the only thing I would be more concerned about, is our guys going to handle it? Are we going to work together to try to keep some of the costs down for the community? Because that's what they're here for, to do their inspections. They're here to do their water inspections, the street inspections, the sewer inspections and stuff like that. We're paying their salary to do it. That's kind of my take on it, because I think it is a good thing to have our guys involved, because they're the ones who's going to have to take care of it when Crossroads is gone. And so that's kind of my take on it, is getting our guys involved to try to help soften that cost on the inspection side of it.
And I would totally support, we need their help on that front. Most definitely. Design, utility coordination.
Without a doubt.
I can do the bidding as long as they give me the documents, that kind of thing. And then even, submitting the application. And so I think it would be good to have maybe lighten on the construction administration and to where they can bring our folks alongside with them on this project, just because our folks, we did, and not saying we've only done mill and overlay. Okay, on a lot of different things. And we've paid a consultant to help us with some of those inspections, or to make sure, did this project get finished the way it was supposed to be finished? Are the elevations right? Does it flow right? And, yes, we can go out and do punch list items and say, okay, well, this isn't, this is ponding, or, whatever it is, like the parking lot's a perfect example. That they will be milling and overlaying, redoing the whole thing. So more to come on that. But I think it would be good for our folks, because this isn't what they were trained to do. And just to see it from the way it's supposed to be done on the inspection side, maybe it is a not to exceed, or maybe I get more clarification from Crossroad on what would be something where you can help our guys, ensure that we know what we're looking at, because we're looking at a concrete road, and then we're going to look at an asphalt road, two different types of roads, and how the application is. And then, like I said, the concrete's gonna be a full depth, full reconstruction, whereas this one would be, let's beef up the road that we have and add some shoulder to it to protect the lengths.
Right, and I agree with that. Like I said, I understand Crossroads taking care of the bidding, taking care of the building and stuff, but I think that our guys really need to be involved with this because when Crossroads leaves, it's ours to maintain. They need to be aware of what's going on, what's going in the ground, what things are doing, because no offense to no engineer or anything, they don't know our standards. They can read a book, but our standards involve a lot more than just what's there. It's what we do as a water company or we do as a sewer company. Do this, we do that as street maintenance and stuff like that. So I'm just big on getting our guys involved in a project like this. I know it's a big project, but it's a good way to, with Crossroads helping them and them working in it, it just makes the experience for our guys later on that they say, hey, we're capable of handling this job now and capable of running this project. You're always going to have an engineer pay the bills and he's going to keep track quantities. That's something the engineers keep track of. I get that, but I just really like our guys involved in a lot of it. Just not as much the design, but just more of the inspection, locations, depths of water mains, sewer mains and stuff like that.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
So is there a motion?
How do we want to do this then, since we talked about doing a not to exceed and everything else?
I think we could authorize Carmen to sign it with the understanding that she has discretion to use them for any of these things or not use them for any of these things up to the amount of the agreement. Does that work?
That works for me, but if you have a different especially on the construction administration, have a different amount in mind of a not to exceed. Because then I don't want that to say, okay, well, today we're not going to send the guy or gal that's $120 some an hour. We're gonna send the intern. That we're gonna charge you the 75 or whatever, that level of person, so I guess if you have a different, I can ask Brent for a little bit more detail, but
I think that this is how I feel, and I'm just one person, but that's your discretion. That's, we let you take care of it. You decide what you need to do to make this ongoing job, what stays efficient, stays on track with the people you need to have there. And I feel that it's your best discretion to say, okay, I'm going to put this here, because you're going to do what's best for the town and best with your people out there in the field. You know their knowledge, you know how far they can go with it. I don't. So I be honest, I just leave it up to your discretion that what you need to do to make sure this job goes smoothly.
You have any issues with doing it that way, Stephen?
I haven't seen the agreement, but assuming it's generally hourly or time and materials kind of contract with a maximum amount and giving Carmen the discretion to use them as she sees fit, subject to that maximum, then I'm fine with that. And if we need to also authorize her to, work with Crossroads to modify the agreement before it's signed to make sure it reflects whatever maximums you want to provide, I think that's fine too.
So construction and admin is currently only listed as hourly not to exceed. The others are flat fees for asset management plan, docs and bidding, utility coordination, those field survey, actually, project scope and funding. And then there's hourly. My thought would be that we approve this with the now, obviously Crossroads would have to agree to it, but that those fees are, but they're bid them as flat fees, right? Or
they are flat fees, but they pretty much already designed the road. They just haven't charged us for it yet.
no. Then since the big number, the admin is already not to exceed, I'm fine with approving it as written, as long as that's good with you guys.
Yeah. I think I'll be fine with that. Not to exceed, and as Carmen uses her best judgment.
Okay. I'll give you an update, and that was, and the construction administration isn't something that we have to decide today. It's only if we get the project. So you have to think of that as well, so. And then, I guess I would say that pending legal counsel, they did use our professional services agreement that we have begun using, but it's that Stephen's okay with it, that it would be pending legal counsel.
So I guess my thought would be a motion to approve and authorize town manager to sign pending review by legal counsel. If that works for you guys.
Not to exceed. I agree.
I second that motion.
All right, I guess. We'll allow the president to make a motion, I guess, as long as nobody's upset about it. All right, also move. Sounds like Brad,
I'll second.
seconded it. Vote by roll call, please.
Tim Brown,
Yes.
Brad Godecker,
Yes.
and Joe Saylor.
Yes.
All right, 3-0.
All right, next, we have disposal of engine 72.
This is the apparatus 2000 Freightliner that was engine 72, and now that we have the new engine 71, previous engine 71 now becomes the backup engine. So request for disposal of engine 72 in the same process that we're doing with the heavy rescue, using Brindley Mountain to find us a buyer. So request to sign the agreement with Brindley Mountain. It's the same agreement that we had with the rescue. So that would be our cost recovery option.
Is it, you okay with that, chief?
Yeah, I'm totally okay with that. I think it makes total sense.
Okay.
Easiest way to get rid of it, and then they just get a percentage off whatever the sale is the way it works.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to dispose of engine 72. And with the contract.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, vote by acclamation.
Hold on.
I got a question.
Big guy.
I know that we had some review of a
Yes, I
prior
used
proposal.
proposal.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that
Yes.
we were.
It is already reviewed, revised. You can look at it again, but it's the same proposal that,
As long as Jacob has
Yes.
reviewed and approved what you presented, then good.
Vote by roll call, please.
Tim Brown,
Yes.
Brad Godecker,
Yes.
and Joe Saylor.
Yes.
All right, pass 3-0.
All right, now we're on to HR.
this was brought before you guys in May, and had to review that you didn't want to make any decisions. Things are a little different now with, the town administration. We're still having issues, in the HR, as far as, one, there's no privacy. Two, there isn't anybody here that can really answer the questions, on a full-time basis. So the request again, coming from Invigorate, what their recommendation was is that the HR should be moved underneath the town manager. So I only gave you the first page of the proposal that was put before you in April and May of earlier this year. And request that more of the tactical tasks of HR come underneath the town manager. And if there is if we still feel like we need the consultant to assist with any type of personnel matters, that we could use them at an hourly rate of the 180 hours or $180. Pardon me. If we have any questions or concerns, again, it's your guys' decision. I feel like we can be doing things a lot better with these types of tasks. We need somebody who's a champion of this. The current situation is not working.
And I thought we was I have someone take care of the HR versus you doing it and.
Somebody, we have a part-time HR assistant as the title, but they primarily just do payroll. They do help with some onboarding, but there's still things that we're just not doing right. Not saying that I know all the answers, I don't. But we have a lot of times employees come in asking questions, and we don't have the right people here to answer those questions. And there's some confidentiality issues as well, just because that person does not have a private space. Which that's still something we would have to figure out.
I guess my thought would be, particularly since we do not have a clerk treasurer, I would support switching it at present, but with it to be, how it's working, to be reviewed in 3 or 6 months. And make a more of a final decision at that time, or there's only 3 of us here tonight if we want to kick it to next month.
Or to kick it to next month, because I have some reservations about this, because I know that's putting a lot of strain on you, having you take care of that with all the duties that you got going on. But I think that the staff and everybody needs that individual besides going to the town manager. Because let's say if they, just throwing this out there, say they have a problem with the town manager, not saying it happens, but just who's their next step?
Well, that you'll have that in any situation.
Right.
I totally understand and I get that. I will tell you again, back on the tactical, this is not like I have a complaint against my XYZ person. It's the tactical. It's how we're handling our health insurance benefits. It's how we're having the conversation with our employees about our health insurance benefits. There's a lot of missing information. And I lean on that because I've already taken on that, you know, as a not taking it on. But even just our processes of how we're handling applications, how we're handling our onboarding of our employees. You know, we had an employee start today. We didn't have anybody from HR here at 8 o'clock when they showed up. You know, and so those are the types of things that I feel like that the town just needs to get better at doing. There are some situations that could really put us in a pickle.
And I agree with that. You
So I'm
do.
trying to protect the town and not, you know, it's not that I'm asking for more. Because ideally, it would be to take some things off of my plate that I've been working on doing with, you know, the water and sewer and street and things of that nature, is to make sure that we're not, you know, bombarding the town manager. It's, you know, to be that 10,000 foot level, looking at processes and what can we do to make us better.
And I agree with that. I mean, that's what you got your employees for, to delegate their work to them. I mean, they should be handling more of it than you should. I mean, they should come with you with major problems, but for the most part, they should be able to make the decisions and take care of the things too. And I agree 100% with the insurance and stuff, because I deal with that too. And that's a big thing, and I don't understand it completely. And I have no problem with that part of it. But I do think we need to consider in a HR position, someone what's, you know, deals with the daily day, and then we don't get these situations like you said where we get sued because we did this wrong or that wrong, and that the guys, whether it be water, streets, or someone has someone to go to if there is a problem or an issue like that. I think it's something we need to think about in the future about going that route. But as of right now, I'm fine with it. Fine with Carmen taking care of the insurance and that. And then we'll just readdress it but I'd really think that this should be a decision amongst all of us. That way, if they wanted to, you know, if the other two want to make a decision on this, in case, you know, with Debbie, she might have an opinion because she worked here before and she knows how that goes and stuff like that.
We can wait.
Is there a motion? Oh, sorry. Is there a motion to act or a motion to continue?
I mean, I mean, I'm fine to listen, you know, Tim's advice and just, yeah, like we'll talk about it next meeting and then go from there.
Okay. I'll take that as a motion to continue.
Yes,
To bump it to the
sure.
next meeting. All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, just vote by acclamation. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
So I only have one thing to bring up on the town manager part. Last week was Hang Tag Day, and so let me just bring you up to speed. Bills go out first of the month. They're due on the 20th. Town of Whiteland has been super nice, and for people that are 2 months behind, we put hang tags to 2 days, 2 to 3 days before they're going to get shut off. We do not shut off residents until they're 2 months behind on their utility bill. Hang tags of upwards of over 100 accounts, where we physically print them out. We physically deliver them to each of the residents that are 2 months behind on their bill. Their bill is their reminder, in my opinion. Their second bill, they're the following month of their, hey, you're 2 months behind, is their reminder. The situation we had last week, last week, one of our employees was chased off of the property by a large dog as he was attempting to put the dog or the door hanger on the door. Resident was present, sitting in his truck, laughed at the employee as he was running to get off of the property. Made no attempt to redirect his dog. And I was asked to send a letter to the resident and say that you're no longer getting reminders, you're just going to get shut off. Most of the shutoffs are at the curb, but we do have some where we have to go onto the property. But we've been talking about this for a little while internally, and I think it's ridiculous that we have to manually go around and remind people to pay their bill. They're usually the same accounts. Especially when we have somebody that is not restraining their dog, obviously, you know, we can't say, hold on a second, let me call the police and get, you know, somebody out here because we have a leash law. I don't want to see any of our employees get injured or attacked by anyone or a dog. So in our ordinance, the way that it reads is for delinquent bills, 51.40C for Stephen. It is the policy of the town to discontinue utility service to the customer for reason of non-payment of bills after notice to the customer and owner of the property to which water service is provided of non-payment of the bill, and a meaningful opportunity for the customer and owner of the property to which water service is provided to be heard on disputed bills. There's another sentence that says, to further this policy, the town shall not provide any new utility services until all outstanding bills are paid. Your bill is your reminder, right? We all get bills that reminds us to pay it. Yes, sometimes we forget or we get busy and we forget to pay it. I don't know if this would be something that we have to change in our ordinance because, again, I feel like our policy is that the bill is your reminder. I would like for us to, if the council, if we can decide to not do hang tags anymore, it would save on time, energy, and resources of our folks and also protect them in a safety manner. So
I'm good with that because I understand. I've done that side of it where I work, and it is rough for the guys to go out and deal with this. I mean, I've had to call sheriff department out on threaten you. I mean, it's rough. I'm with you, Carmen. The bill's the reminder. If they don't do it after that, then we shouldn't keep reminding these people because I would venture to say that these are repeat customers.
absolutely are.
So I just want to clarify procedurally, they get one bill, they don't pay it. They get a second bill, they don't pay it. And then we hang tag after that.
We hang tag for the only way that they can stay on is if they pay their previous month's bill.
Balance.
So they're already, a lot of times these folks are running month, like every month they're a month behind type of thing. And I know that and we make payment arrangements for folks that run into situations where, you know, they're just going through a tough time. You know, we are willing to have that conversation with folks, but a lot of times and we do charge, if we disconnect, we do charge a reconnection fee. So that just kind of further puts folks in a hole if they're on that constant list. And the utility folks can speak more to that. But it's more of how many did we have last week, Steve?
80.
80?
Do they have to pay the bill entirely or make arrangements to get it shut back on?
Just have to get it, has to do it. To stay on.
Stay on, right?
Stay on. Yeah, the 2 months
Like a
past
60 days.
Right, that's what I was curious.
So that's where, again, you know, if that gets to a point where we have folks that, you know, need to set up a payment, I mean, again, we're all adults. And most people that, well, probably everybody that has a utility account is an adult. Pretty sure they have to be. It's their personal responsibility on their finances to figure out, either how to stay off the shut off list or from getting shut off, or to have the conversation for a payment arrangement.
So
How many people do we have on a payment arrangement now?
Currently, I could be wrong, but I don't believe we have. Might have one, but they've already moved out, so I mean.
what ordinance was that you were reading?
51.40. It talks about a policy.
I'm looking at it myself here, and what I see is that the only time a door notice is required is if the customer has attempted to pay through a bad check or something that got denied or bounced. And in that situation, then we're supposed to include a door notice that says they have 2 days to pay, or it's going to be shut off. Otherwise, a mailed notice is all that's required.
Yeah, so on my read of it is that D
is the standard.
D2 is that if your bill, if you don't pay your bill, we have to mail them a notice saying we're turning off in 10 days, and that's it. And the only time that we would have to do any sort of door hanger would be if there's like a bounce check or a return credit card payment. So do we mail a notice with a 10-day day?
Their notice.
Bill says it'd be this.
So their bill for their current month due includes their past due. We're only shutting off if they have a past due amount. So their next bill is their notice to say, if you do not pay this amount, you will be disconnected.
Okay, so as long as that second bill comports with D2, I don't think there's anything further that's necessary.
I agree.
It's been a
I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I have.
all right. Looks like there's a reminder that
Yes.
next month we're a Wednesday, not a Tuesday.
I'll just put that on my calendar.
And then, any department heads, have a update or report that they'd like to provide? All right, come on up, chief.
Derek Cox, Town Marshal. Really good to say that. Want to thank the council. Not everybody's here tonight, but make sure to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to be here and to do this. It's been a busy first week and it's going to continue to be busy for a while. Just want to let the council know my appointment left open a lieutenant spot on our B shift, and I filled that spot this week with Kenny Pauley. He'll be stepping up from sergeant to lieutenant to take that spot. That his moving up also now leaves a sergeant position open. Currently interviewing officers. There's 3 officers interested in the position, and I plan on having that filled by the end of the week and have them starting by the next pay period. Let you know that. There again, my appointment also created an open position for patrolmen. We started that hiring process on October 2nd, and we're taking applications through this Friday. Plan on reviewing those and within the next few weeks having somebody hired for that position and starting and be able to introduce them at the next town council meeting as the hopes. Just want to let you know on that.
And you are receiving volume of applications for that, or?
I would estimate approximately a dozen at this point, so a few more days left. Bless you.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Council comment?
Did,
I have some comments, but after you, sir. You have any?
I just wanted to ask, like, did that get stricken, or do we have to talk about do anything with the patio?
Oh, the patio, that was removed.
That was
taking it next month. Oh, we do need to minutes.
Follow back on the minutes, but that didn't happen. I got
Or
questions.
we can just take them up in the November meeting if they're not readily handy.
We have September 9th, but September 30th was not created.
Okay.
For you for approval. That was the appointment of
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. That's probably about a 1 sentence minute. Do we just want to take up all 3 minutes at our next meeting? Does that cause any administrative headache to anyone?
If we have the minutes for the 9th, I would recommend it, go ahead and approve those.
Do we have them handed? Just I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I got them right here.
Oh. Thank you. Maybe days ago, I don't even remember even last week.
There you go.
Any motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes from September 9th, 2025.
Second.
Okay.
Let's vote by acclamation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. You had a comment?
I got several comments. One, I'd like to take time to thank a local business what helped in a situation that happened over in New Ireland. I buy my pops from this Sunoco all the time, and he was real proud that he got an award and stuff for helping in this situation. He was really excited about it. And I just wanted the council to know that that business owner did help in taking care of a situation what happened in New Ireland, because they ended up at his store. He ended up following them, getting things, and he was real excited about helping the community. And I just wanted it to be known out there that guy, and I guess you guys give him a little award he showed me and all that and stuff, and he was really excited about it. And I just wanted to mention that I told him I appreciated and that I would mention it to council that he did go above and beyond to help that situation for our town.
Excellent.
That's great.
And now I got some other stuff too. Several other stuff. Sorry, I know it's been a long meeting and I apologize. But one is the storage units, where are we at in them?
So they are, we're waiting to get some things cleaned out of it, to get pictures. We've got all the photos. We have the process that I need to finalize that and get it with Stephen. It does have to go to a bid process. Has to be posted in the paper, 15-day window. We have to post it twice in the paper. We have to do an auction. So they will be auctioned off, and then we'll have a bid opening committee to do that. So we're in the process of finalizing all of the data and getting it in front of Stephen for approval so we can send it off to the paper and get it posted.
Okay, number two, the building. I was at a block party this weekend and the building coming into our subdivision, they were all questioning me about it, that little shed.
So that one, Dennis Drake is gonna help us out with the block, and I thought I shared this with you already. He's gonna help us out with the block wall and actually help build the structure. Quotes came in last month. We had said the low quote was 12,000. He's gonna do it for 8. The only thing he's asked us to do is to dig the footers. And so they went out last Thursday.
Last Thursday we went out there. So one of the issues there is obviously the confinement of that, of you know, all the water valves that are there, right? So we were out there, Billy Patrick was out there, myself, along with Steven, and we went ahead and got our measurements. Initially, we were going for an 8x8 building detachable roof. The detachable roof will still be conducted or constructed by Mr. Drake. One of the things is just the reduction in size of the building, orientation of the building, but all the locates have been conducted and so forth, so on. So next week, we'll start the excavation process and have Dennis Drake come in there, do the footers, and then erect the building.
Okay, I thought that's where we was at. I just wanted to clarify because I told him I'd ask tonight. Another thing, where are we at on some of the fire hydrant painting in our area, Stevens? Have we decided that we're going to start getting back on that?
So Armando met with Bargersville to talk about the hydrant scrubber.
Correct.
It came as a suggestion for you. We're still finishing up flushing hydrants. Don't want to paint a hydrant if it doesn't work. So finishing up flushing hydrants, which we're left with just this subdivision back here. Sorry, I don't want to speak for Stephen. I'll let you finish up.
Yeah, we're just trying to get the flushing finished, figure out where we're at on maintenance for the place, and then take back off and painting, with the permitting, of course.
Yeah, I agree.
Where we at right now?
Out of service, 10.
10 out of service. Now, you surely rebuild them. I know some of your hydrants and Muellers and stuff like that. I don't know if you're aware of that, but you could call your Mueller rep and he will come down and bring all the stuff and show you guys, if you're not familiar, how to do it. We went through a training process. They bring the hydrant tools down and then we go through them, but they are willing to do that for the community, for a water company, that they'll come down and show you how to rebuild them and stuff like that. If you need a contact person, let me know and I can get you a contact person, because it's always nice to have the rep down here in case you have a problem. And he brings the tools down with him and shows you what you need, and it just makes the process a lot smoother. And as we got new guys, we always have them come in and go through the new guys with them, and they're very good about coming down and helping out. Okay.
Our area Mueller reps named this home, I spoke to him a couple times. So
Yeah.
we were on that. We have some hydrants that are just older than anybody sitting in this room, so.
I agree. And that's the whole point, is trying to stay up on maintenance. And then my final and last thing is, this is towards you, Brad.
Yes.
What have we decided, or have we made contact with New Island? Because the last time we all talked, I volunteered to go with Carmen and you to discuss the merger part, and I haven't heard anything about it, and I didn't know where that lied.
Sure. So I reached out to a couple different people, expressing interest. I think that there is tentative interest. It's mild, more so. How do we share resources? So it's kind of like, hey, how do we take some baby step with them? And so like Carmen is going to try to.
Next week with New Whiteland, with their public works, myself and Armando, to kind of initially have discussions on what equipment could we kind of, like a mutual aid, like fire department does.
Like a vac truck or something like that, if everybody went in and put into it.
You have a call this week. I will say, when we talk about like partnering, the paving of Whiteland Road, New Whiteland paid for all of that. We on the south side, from the church all the way to Centerline, they went ahead and paved it for us. So, there's some kind of, it's just a mill and overlay, so it's not a permanent fix, but it's just to get us by.
It's a nice.
That was a project that they went ahead and they were like, are you okay with us paving the south side of the road? And I'm like, absolutely.
It's a big improvement.
Correct. And I drive down there all the time, so.
Technically on the north side, we own the south side, but they paved all of it.
That was very nice of them, and.
We are working together in the right fit, and what does that then lead us to for future?
That's kind of what I was kind of curious of, where we went, because the last meeting you said, hey, we're getting ready to do this. And so I haven't heard nothing about it. That's the only reason I'm asking, just for everybody in the public is understanding that, we are working with them, but what distance are we going with this? So
we're starting with that and seeing like what kind of easy low hanging fruit is there, so we can hopefully cooperate more. And then we'll just try to, build from that. I've a dozen conversations, probably people specifically asking me, being like, yes, this is insane that we're not doing this, including some people from New Whiteland to ask me, how do we get this thing going? And I'm like, then you need to
come to council,
go to their council meeting and ask them, because if you don't, then the thought would be they have, no one's expressed interest. So like, a number of people have said something to me about it, from people I think that live in both towns, all with the idea of, like, it's about time.
Right. And on the other hand, I've seen a lot of comments on the negative side of it too, on concerned citizen, where they was talking this and this and this. But I just glance at it. I only take face value what people want to, and I'm good with either way. I just wanted to know where we was at on it, that way I could keep up with you in case you needed something from me on my end.
No, I think, we're in good hands here. Like, Carmen's gonna start with just trying to figure out some shared resources and see what we can do on that front. And then we'll just take another step after that.
Working with each other. I really am. I think we're all a community.
So on a couple of things too, initiatives that have been kind of pain points for us. CDL drivers is one. And so it was a suggestion of of yours. But you've got somebody at the end of the month, you have somebody going over to get trained. There's a trainer that comes up, but Bargersville has some folks, we've got somebody, so it only makes sense because, you know, things are not getting easier. So it makes sense just to collaborate where we can.
I think it's great. I think it's great. We're all one community. We're all work together for each other and help each other. I think that's a really good step forward. I appreciate that. That's all I got.
Anything else on council comment? All right, any public comment? All right, hearing none, we'll adjourn.
Did someone let me in that room back here?
I got it too.